Hey, it's your girl Leslie D, and welcome to the Love and Legacy podcast, where myself, Leslie D, speaks to women who go from overwhelm to overflow, one quarter at a time. Hey, family, what's good? How you doing? How has your summer been? We are almost done with summer. Can you believe that? Like, time is flying. 2020 will be here like legit tomorrow. That's how I feel. But I wanted to just truly come to talk to you guys about a conversation that I have been having multiple times, almost like every day, the last 2 or 3 months. And that is about our end of day plans. What happens when we pass? Because there are so many people passing every single day. I don't know about you. I see at least about two people that have passed in my timeline or in my social media every day. They might not be directly connected to myself, but there's somebody who I know or who I'm following who is dealing with somebody passing. And it's not like, oh, grandma passed because she was old in age, or because my uncle passed because he was sick for a certain amount of time and he had been battling disease or anything like that. No, they are sudden, they are quick, they are tragic passings, like very surprised, caught off guard passing. And we don't like to think about our mortality. We don't like to think or talk about, what's going to happen if something happens to us. But the thing is, it's real. It's a very real thing. We are here for a reason, here for a purpose. And then once our time is up, we are called home. And we just have to be super, super intentional about not only what we're doing here, but how we leave the loved ones in our family when we leave here. And so we don't want to leave a mess, because a lot of people are leaving a mess and chaos, and grief is already a lot by itself. And so instead, I want to talk about us leaving a message and being a message instead. Because as James 4:14 says, but you don't have a clue what tomorrow may bring. For your fleeting life is but a warm breath of air that is visible in the cold only for a moment, and then it vanishes. That's what your life is. That is what my life is. It's hot breath when it's cold outside and it's wintertime. As quickly as we see that hot breath in the cold, and as quickly as it vanishes, is what our life is at the end of the day. And as it also stated, we don't have a clue about what tomorrow will bring. And so we can't continue to put off what we can do today or what God has put on our heart to do today when we don't know what tomorrow will bring. Like, flat out, we have to be intentional and we have to put in the work. That's that effort. That's that excellence. That's not perfection, but your very best in the moments that you have right now, so that you can be the message that shifts your bloodline. Because you have it in you to do. Because what good is it to go live your best life, get the bag, but then leave your family in a whole mess and become the next GoFundMe, and the state becomes the authority over what you have going on, your business, your children. Like, we can't take that for granted that we got time, because we don't. Because just as much as I'm seeing somebody pass away in my timelines, I'm also seeing those GoFundMes. And a lot of it is in those of our community. Because I know I wasn't taught about doing a will and doing a legacy drawer and doing the things that I'm going to be talking about today. I wasn't taught. It wasn't until that I had to start making decisions, and I also started putting in work and being intentional about what I wanted my life to look like, not just while I'm here, but while I'm gone. And so that's why I want to talk to you about creating a legacy drawer, the message that you leave to your loved ones, and establishes your legacy. And it protects what you've already built. It protects that best life that you live in. It protects the bag that you're going after. It protects the purpose that you are walking into right now. It protects every aspect of your life and doesn't create a mess of chaos when people are grieving the blessing that you are. So treat it as such, and let's protect it with a legacy drawer. So let's talk about what a legacy drawer is. A legacy drawer is a drawer or folder within your home and a safety deposit box that your family can go to when you pass. It holds all important information, instructions, and last words to loved ones that leaves the legacy that you have control over, the message that you want to live on when you're gone. Because then that leaves the opportunity for grief to be filled with love instead of confusion. Because Proverbs 13:22 says, "A good man leaves inheritance to his children's children, but the wealth of the sinner is stored up for the righteous." I know I wasn't taught, like I said, about a legacy drawer and the importance of these things that we have to put in it. But it wasn't until, like I said, I had my own child and was overwhelmed knowing that this has to be taken care of. Because if something happens to me, God forbid, I don't want nobody to be able to become the authority over what it is that I had the power to control and my wishes to put forth when it comes to my last days or my last wishes. Because I'm sure, as I stated, you have seen and have dealt with family members needing a GoFundMe or some type of crowdfunding to bury them because of their lack of understanding and or wisdom that their legacy needed to be protected. Their lack of intention becomes their families or your families overwhelmed, which is what we don't have to do. We don't have to do that at all. We don't have to do that to each other. We have the ability to create a message that is beautiful and lives on forever. And we don't have to stay ignorant because it's so important. When I was creating my business, Sacred Enterprises Incorporated, the number one thing outside of relationships and marriage and restoring the divine purposes of marriages and families that impact the world, beginning with women, it was also making sure that we were equipped with estate planning information. Because I always felt like there's so many things that we don't know as a culture about trust and estate and life insurance and wills and healthcare directives. We lack that information and we lack those understanding of how to establish that for ourselves and protect ourselves. And I didn't want that to be carried on in the people that I had the opportunity to connect with and to influence and impact. That means you. And so let's not leave a burden and cast a shadow on the love and legacy that is the blessing that we're establishing and living our best life every day. That's not the inheritance that God wants your children's children to inherit. So let's talk about what's in a legacy drawer. I was introduced to it years ago and I was like, wow, okay, this is so necessary. So glad I ran up on this and found this information and I get to share it with you. So the foundational items that you should have in your legacy drawer is letters to loved ones, bank information, all your accounts, your will or living will, your health care directive, your financial power of attorney, your term life insurance with allocation instructions for where the money goes, how it's released, and who it goes to. Other insurance policies like your car, your homeowner, your disability, and any other insurance. If you don't have a home, your renter's insurance. Your deed to your home, title to your vehicle, birth certificate, social security cards. And you can add anything else that you would like in this, including your funeral instructions, how you want to do your ashes, because your will more than likely have what it is that you would like to do, whether you want to be buried or cremated. But then in your funeral instructions, you can talk about whether or not you want your ashes spread, or you want to have, for those who were in the military like myself, if you want the military to do their salute and military burial. Also, you can put your passwords in your drawer and all your pertinent information, like things that people might need to get into that might be locked, that only you would know the passwords to. So this is the foundational items that need to be in there, but it's not limited to. This drawer should be a drawer that speaks to you operating with decisiveness, God as a priority, a life of order, and ultimately the legacy that you want to leave to every single person who you're going to write a letter to, specifically telling them what you would always want them to know. And the letter that speaks to who you are and who you desire for your legacy to live on, to become in the hearts of those who are attached to the purpose and call on your life. And after you complete the legacy drawer and you get all your items together, the next thing that you want to do is make a copy of every single item in the drawer, and then put a copy of the legacy drawer in a safety deposit box. Because as I stated, your legacy deserves to be protected. Your memory and the purpose and the plans and the wishes that you have not left up to chance, deserves and needs to be protected. It's such a vital thing. And it's your responsibility. It's my responsibility. The third thing that you need to do is let your family know where your legacy drawer is located, which creates a message of love, not a mess of chaos. That way your loved ones can put their hand on these documents at any given time in the midst of emotions and grief without skipping a beat. Because who wants to deal with trying to figure out your monies, your last day plans and wishes, what's going to happen to your kids and all of that? That then removes their opportunity to grieve in peace because you didn't take responsibility and do the things that you had to do to just do something simple and create and put everything in one place. That's not fair. And then for us with children like myself, we also need to make a copy and give it to the guardians or the godparents of your choice so that there's no question regarding your wishes, so that they don't have to once again deal with the chaos and a mess with other family members or other loved ones expecting for things to go a certain way when they already have your last wishes in their hands, notarized, signed, sealed, delivered, and legal. Okay? So nobody can try them and you already got things taken care of. Lastly, you should update your items in your legacy drawer every quarter to 6 months, because life is but a vapor. Life is but that mere hot breath on a very cold day that vanishes. For all my people from Cleveland, my hometown where I was raised, you know what I'm talking about. Like, it gets cold and it's like, woo, with that hot breath. That's what our life is again, like I said at the beginning. And so because of that, like as for myself, my best friend passed away May 21st. So now I have to update my healthcare directive because she was my proxy. She was the person who was going to be able to make a decision for me if I medically couldn't, if something happened to me. Number one, because she was a nurse, and number two, because I trusted her with my life, and number three, she knew how I valued a more holistic, organic, homeopathic way of living, and she would understand the directions and the guidance of what the doctors and the nurses would be trying to do and whether that was in alignment with what it is that I would want for my life. But because she's no longer here, I have to update it. So that brings me to what I'm going to be doing with my WERK Vault community. We're going to be creating our legacy drawers and or updating them beginning next Monday, July 22nd, 2019. So creating one pretty much takes about 30 days when you are very intentional about it. And so every day I'm going to guide them and as well as myself be going along with them, either updating or adding things to ultimately have my legacy drawer complete. I want you to join me. If you know that you don't have a will, I know I did a poll 2 days ago asking about who had a will, who had life insurance, and who had a legacy drawer. 100% of those who voted in my poll said they did not have a will. Many of them have children, many of them are married, many of them are either single parents or some combination of the two. So that's setting themselves up to leave a mess instead of a message, especially when children are involved. And so that's why it became so important to me to make sure, okay, bump any plans or any content guys that I had coming up. This is important. This is vital for my people, and I'm going to do it with them. We're going to do it together so that there is no reason or no excuse for us to have any anxiety or, unknown feeling about what will happen if something happened to me right now. In the next 5 seconds, there's no confusion, there's no anxiety, there's no frustration, there's no fear. You can leave knowing that you lived on purpose, creating the message and living the message that God called you to be, the living epistle, and then know that it will carry on according to the purpose and the plans that you dictate, and you have it in order in your legacy drawer because you cared enough to do so. Join me and the WERK Vault community to do this legacy drawer challenge, and let's get it done. We will be adding and updating items to the legacy drawer every single day from the legacy drawer checklist that's in my Overwhelmed to Overflow strategy series part 1, Accelerated Abundance. And so don't wait, join me. You can get Overwhelmed to Overflow part 1 And join the Work Vault on my website, www.lesliedanielle.com, LesliedAnielle.com. You are worth the work, and so is your legacy. Leave a message that shifts your bloodline. It's on you and it's on me. I love you. Let's get these legacy drawers created, signed, sealed, and delivered, notarized, so that we can leave a message and have our bloodline and our message protected. Mwah.